This week's starting line, House File 342, would restore a convicted felon's right to vote upon release from a correctional facility, regardless of parole or probation status. Current law prohibits a person convicted of a felon to vote while incarcerated or out on probation or parole. The bill's sponsor, Representative Tony Cornish from R-Vernon Center, tells us why he thinks felons who have been released from prison should have their right to vote immediately restored upon release.
Well, there's a couple reasons. First of all, we can't find any good reason for them not to vote. We don't see it as a punishment. It's probably taking away one of their constitutional rights. And the way things are going, when we want felons to come back into the community, to assimilate back into the community, be as regular as they can be, blend in, get a job. And so if we take away the right to vote, we can't think of how that works out as punishment. And it only alienates them from society of taking away one of their choices. So I believe in taking away their gun rights. That makes sense. But why take away their voting rights? We can't equate that with a disincentive to commit crime.
What drawbacks, if any, do you see with your bill?
I really don't see any drawbacks. I think some people get in their mind that when people go to prison, they got to punish them as much as possible or something, and I don't, maybe part of it's revenge or getting back or making them pay for their crime, but we can't see how taking away one of your constitutional rights in that area, I can see the gun thing, but I can't see the vote thing. Plus, when my grandpa did time in Stillwater State Prison, and I look at his diary when he came back from home, he didn't have anything to do, didn't have a job, didn't have a support group, and pretty soon he got depressed and turned to alcohol and things because he didn't have anything to do and no support. And so I look at these people coming back now, and I think they need support, I think they need a job, and it's going to be less recidivism. The better they get treated and the more human they're treated like when they come back, I think the less chance they have of committing another crime.
Is this bill a bipartisan bill? Do you have support on both sides?
Yeah, surprisingly, we got a whole slew of conservative Republicans signing on to this bill. You know, so normally you think of the Republicans as a law and order party, put in jail and throw the key away. But in this instance, I think they think in the same thing as I did. If you want them to come back and be a productive member of society, take away the things that you might think that make them unsafe, but why take away their voting rights?
You chair the House Public Safety and Crime Prevention Policy and Finance Committee, where the bill was referred. Do you plan on having a hearing for this proposal? And if so, when would that be?
You know, I do plan on having a hearing. I don't know when that'll be, down the road sometime, and I don't know who I'll get to testify, you know, besides myself. But I think being a cop for 32 years and throwing people in jail, if they use that term, and taking them, dropping them off at either St. Cloud or Stillwater, and seeing them after they come out, I think it gives, you know, me some credit for knowing something about the whole situation and gives the bill some credibility.
Do you think it's something that would be heard the first half of the biennium, or is it something that could wait until the second half?
Well, I think it'll be a popular bill that will probably be heard this session after some time. We want to get the budget taken care of, a few other things. There's all sorts of bills coming down on license plate readers and body cameras and investigations by police and data privacy, a lot of big subjects. So this one will have to just take its turn, and it's not a top priority for the caucus, but I think it'll be, in the end, an important bill.
Coming up next week, Starting Line will look to see if there's been any movement on Representative Tony Cornish's bill, and will feature a new bill. And remember, hundreds of bills get introduced every legislative session in Minnesota. All of them first have to cross the starting line.